Oh, crazy good at talking. Turkey coming right down my alley.
I'm having a picnic. Which way to the beach?
I want those slot machines. Now we got it. We got it. I wish those Duke boys were on my side. Happy birthday, Daisy.
Why, thank you, Anna.
Now get her out. Don't stick in her. Go get her out. Welcome to Hazzard County.
Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to work on something very special and close to my heart, as it is with a lot of people my age, from 40 something, late 40 something up to mid 50s, maybe a little older. The Dukes of Hazzard General Lee. I know a lot of companies have been made it, and it's been made over and over and over, but I haven't seen anybody on eBay selling repops off the new Hot Wheels, or anybody on YouTube, except for one person, do a proper General Lee. Now, I got my buddy over at DT99 Race. Go check him out. He's one of my regulars on my channel. He does a lot of customs himself. He does a lot of actual Hot Wheels racing with track, making track cars that are really heavy. But if you go back to his one video where he built a General Lee, you will be thoroughly impressed. It is just beautiful. Now mine is probably going to be pretty much I already contacted him and asked him if I could go ahead and use some of his methods on mine, because it did turn out so well. And I'm going to use some of cookie cutter stuff, you know, right off of his. But like I say, I'm going to use a little bit different wheel. But like I say, go over, if you haven't seen his, go check his out. But I'm going to do a proper General Lee that's going to knock your socks off. And while I'm at it, I got this a long time ago, and it was come in a little kit back in the probably the late 90s, early 2000s. And of course, first of all, it's a Talladega. It's based off the Talladega model, because you see the back window. Of course, if everybody remembers from my generation, when you got a General Lee model kit for 1/24 scale, it was based off the Talladega kit too, but it had the correct front end. So with this one, the only thing that's wrong with it, and it's perfect, except it's got that little flea bite right there. So all I'm going to do is use this. I'm going to mix the paint, and I'm going to while I'm mixing the paint to match it off of this one, I'm fixing that flea bite on this thing and buffing it out. And I got these old ass Real Riders, just like the ones I put on my October car for the Australian car build, that will set this baby off. Because when I got it, I think it had hubcaps on it or something. I was going to end up doing this anyways. This is the wheels that we actually put on our Ertls back in the day. Of course, the stance is all wrong on this. It looks like it's four-wheel drive. But back in the day, the Ertl wheels were so shitty, we would take them apart. And if we were the pioneers of the wheel swap, we'd take a Real Riders like this and we'd put those wheels on our General Lees, which look pretty damn close. So what I'm going to do is try to fix this front end. I got this dollar special that I might use for the front end, which looks pretty close. Or I got this other one. I don't want to cut the front end off of this one, because it's got a hood and everything. The only reason I didn't use it for my General Lee is the base is kind of funky, which I might still use the top and use the bottom off of that one. I'm going to take them both apart, see what I can do. But these newer ones with the cheapy throwaway, I think with a little bit of styrene work, maybe I can make this front end correct on this, put a brush guard on it, and we'll make 2 of them. We'll do one of my own, and we'll fix this one up. And for the wheels that I'm going to be putting on my Hot Wheels version, I am going to be using the wheels off of this little Rice Rocket shit box. I don't know what it's a Johnny Lightning. What the hell is it? Some kind of stupid tuner. But look at the wheels. Yes, they're green, but look at them. They're pretty damn close to a vector, and they're wide. See? So I put those in some easy off oven cleaner. It rips the chrome right off of them. Paint them up with black, and then do the fronts silver. Bam, you got yourself a vector. Of course, you have to turn the tires around. They never ran raised white letter tires on their General Lees. I heard that from John Schneider himself. But if you haven't checked out his channel, go to johnschneider.com. He's got some cool stuff on there with General Lee trivia. I'm on his page. But we're going to build some proper General Lees here, and maybe I make 1, make 2, because I bought the decals, and it comes with like 4. So maybe we'll just make a whole bunch of General Lees. Who knows? We're definitely going to be fixing the front end on this one. Maybe we'll see what we can do with that, because that shit ain't right. So we'll fix the flea bites, use this for a match, and we'll be making this stuff. So look forward to it, and stay tuned. Hey, and we're back with our General Lees. At least the 2 Hot Wheels, that is, because they're going to need the most work. Yeah, this looks like an abomination of super glue, but trust me, it's well needed. See, we started out with this, and I have never seen a 69 Charger with that much of a flare on the fenders. So the first step in getting these right is to get rid of all 4 of those flares. As you can see, I'm doing this one. This one doesn't have an opening hood, and this one does. I found another one that the base fit on really, really well, so we stripped that one down, and we're going to do these 2. And on the back fender wells, I just put tape on the back side, and we just filled this with lots of super glue and baking soda. Now, I got grindy wheels and all that stuff. All we're going to do right next is take these and make these flat and flush just like these, and then I'm going to take a pattern off this front fender well and make the back fender well the same size, so you don't have to put that big ass tire in the back on the General Lee, because it didn't have that originally. There goes my compressor. So let's go ahead and do some sanding and see where we're at, and I'll get this one, catch this one up to this speed. So stay tuned. Okay, here we are back with our General Lee projects. I got 3 of them going. They're all different. This one is just going to be used. We're going to do a wheel swap on it, and got these Hurricane wheels, which we might try to turn into vectors. But they're very close to the originals, and we're going to have to get some axle tubes put in here. Now this one is in, this one needs a tail panel painted black. I have a flea bite right there that I need to fix on it, and the front end is all wrong. It's as you can see, it's wrong. It's a Charger 500, I think, because it has that back window, just like the model kits had back in the day, and people thought we were stupid and didn't realize it. I guess at Ertl. So what I'm going to do is we're going to cut this grill out, and I think I got some others that I can take the grill out of, Hot Wheels, and we'll modify a Hot Wheels grill to this one. And for these 2, I've already started. DT99 Race has already done this style. He has this. I'm cookie cuttering the fender wells. We are adding glue, then grinding them down to make this fender well the same as this fender well. And you see, I started on this, and then I had a piece break out, so we're starting again. And I don't know why Hot Wheels put fender flares on them, but as you can see, the General Lee does not have fender flares on it. And we're making them to both sides. I got these wheels. They're very close to a Vector. We'll be painting them up correctly. And I got that going on, and this one we just did. I did one with the hood. I found one in my collection, so I will have one without the hood opening, one with the hood opening, and we will also, since I'm on a Dukes of Hazzard kick right now, we're going to throw in this one. This is one of the original ones that I talked about, and this is a perfect example of Ertl's poor quality. As you saw in my other video, I had a mint one on the card, but as you can see, this is what the stickers look like. Yeah, you hold it like this, and you know, first thing to go is the 01. At least it was on my original ones. This isn't one of my original ones. This one came with a car lot that I got. So got a little bit of warp in the window back there. We might just have to do something with that. And it's got the push bar on it. It's just not painted correctly, so we will be doing that. And these wheels, they're getting flung over across the basement with the super fast wheels that I have laying around. And we'll probably end up, I think I got another set of these fake Vectors. We'll put those on there. So we're gonna take one of these poorly casted originals and make it sexy. And I'm gonna have these three and this one, and these three that I'm building, I'm gonna do just like the original ones from the first 5 episodes in Covington, Georgia, General Lee 1, 2, and 3 that were built by Warner Brothers and shipped down to Covington. They will all have little checkered flag, rebel flags, on racing flags right on the back window, which was deleted after they moved to California. And we will have the small push bars on these instead of the wide push bars. And this one we'll figure something out with this front end here. We might just paint the push bar black. It's close enough. It's lived this long. We'll do a nice wheel swap, give it a nice stance like the original, and put some proper paint and decals on this bad boy. Clean those wing windows out that are 10 times too big. So that's what I have planned. This one a minor stuff, and it's going to be used my test base for the paint. And bam, bam, bam. General Lee 1, 2, and 3. So there you have it. Okay, welcome back to George's General Lee factory here. Like the back lot at Warner Brothers, I would assume. We are making 3 now. I started out with 1, and I said, well, hell, I'm going to do a couple of them. But I put into the mix this original from 1981, one of the Ertl that rhymes with turtle versions, which, well, when you get the paint off of it, it's not too bad. It's not too good, but it's not too bad. I cleaned up all the wing windows. It had all that flashing in the center of them, and we're going to do some body work on this. I mean, it's pretty rough from the factory. Got these wheels here, more Johnny Lightning Vector wheels. No American muscle cars were harmed during the butchery of these Vector wheels. Now, the next step with this one will definitely be the bodywork. As you can see, there's low spots there, and there's casting line that I tried to sand out, but I'll just end up having to Bondo it in. So this will be more like the original ones than ever. I'm going to put a roll cage in this one, and I am painting it. The interior on all of these is going to be tan, light tan, and this one already has a brush guard. We'll just have to paint that in. And the big thing with this car is going to be stance. I got the wheels, and we just got to get it to, it's going to have to be set up and out on these wheels. So I'll have to put brass spacers in for the axles, and of course these wheels will be painted the correct color and all. And that's where we're going with this one. And then you got a bad casting mark or area right there where it's missing a piece, probably from the factory. We're going to take some super glue and baking soda and fill that in and fix that all up. Okay, for our test pilot here, as I'm going to call it, which was the Racing Champions Charger 500 back window. We needed to put the correct front end on it because it came with the 500 front end with this. I got this probably 20 years ago. And all we're going to do to this one is, it's got a flea bite there. It's got a flea bite there. We're going to match the paint with this one and fix the flea bites, buff them out, and give a wheel swap on it. And with this one too, I'm going to try to use these old school Real Riders, which are very close. And I think if I paint the centers and paint every other spoke and leave the other spokes black, it's going to give you the effect of a vector wheel. And what I did is basically Hot Wheels. When we get to the Hot Wheels one, I'll show you. There was 3 different versions of this car. I guess this was probably one of the early versions. And we're going to call these different names. I'm going to call this one the hood version. If I could get this sumbitch to focus. Which it's not going to focus today. Son of a bitch. Welcome back to our General Lee build. And just wanted to show you about what I'm going to do with mix and paint here. We talked about it earlier. I have this original Racing Champions with the wrong back window and the wrong front, but the color's close enough. I'm going to try and match this paint, and once we do, we're going to hit that flea bite and then clean it up and buff it out and just do a wheel swap on this one. But for right now, we are going to mix some paint. So I'm going to go into my lightning fast Steve Austin $6 Million Man Hands mode. So stay tuned. Okay, here we are with our General Lee workshop. I have all the other ones, number 1, number 2, and number 3. This was actually my template right here. After trying to match that paint, that little flea bite kept aggravating because I couldn't get it just right. After it dried, it didn't look right. So guess what? It's getting I have enough decals to do 4, so this will be number 4. And the only thing that really bothers me, since I'm going to the trouble to strip it and redo all the decals, get rid of that Charger 500 back window. And here we have another one of the dollar main lines from this year that I'm working on cutting this half out, and we're going to cut the half out of here so it will have the correct back window, and we will have a detailed engine compartment and correct. Look at the difference in the wheel wells. I mean, these wheel wells are perfect, and these not so much. That's why I had to change them so much on the other 2. So when have you ever seen one with a damn fender well lip? But let me get to doing some sawing here and see what we can do here. It's not the greatest sawing. I'll have to file them down and make them straight, but we'll get it. Stay tuned. Houston, we have a problem. Oops. Look what happened here. As I was sawing this and filing this, I don't know what it was, but I never bent it, but they decided to crack on me. So this piece went. So now it looks just like the Charger in John Schneider's movie Christmas Cars. If you haven't seen that, please go pick up a DVD of it. You'll really enjoy it. It's a nice little homage to the Dukes of Hazzard days and the General Lee. But never fear. See, this is the one we're using. This is the correct one. This is the incorrect one. So that one goes over there. So these are the pieces that we need. I've already done some filing, and we got everything almost ready to go back together. And I'm going to just start gluing this thing together. Well, if we put it like this, put it like that, and you mix it off like that, voila. Okay, and we are back with our General Lee assembly line here. These are, I'm waiting to paint. I'm waiting to catch this one up to speed. I had a vision of taking one of my $1 Hot Wheel mainline chargers, and we changed out that Charger 500 window, and everything lined up pretty good. Got the wheels stance all right on this. Got everything all fixed up here. I'm going to throw some primer on here and see if I have any high or low spots. But man, that actually fit in there. A lot of sanding and a lot of cutting. You can see the trunk lid is actually Hot Wheels, and this bottom half I actually recessed it, the whole piece, the whole bottom end, so it fits right in there. So this is Racing Champions, top is Hot Wheels, and it joined very well. I wanted to show you before I put it in primer, and you won't be able to see any of that. I also ended up, I lost the post from the Racing Champions, but I cut it off of here and I super glued it into here. So like I said, you can see all the work that I did where I've added everything. I already test fitted the windows, so thank God they work. They'll have to be glued in, of course. And we're going to go ahead and lay some primer on this, see what we got. So stay tuned. Okay, it is now officially General Lee Day. We are going to be painting up the General Lee collection here. Lee 1, Lee 2, Lee 3, and Extra Credit Lee. So there we have it. I'm going to get some paint on these bad boys. So stay tuned. Okay, here we are back with our Georgia General Lee build. We have our Lee number 1, Lee number 2, Lee number 3 that were used in the first 5 episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard. And this is one that is just an extra credit Lee. As you can see, Lee 1, Lee 2, and Lee 3, just like the originals, I have put the little checkered flag, rebel flag, in the back window, just as they were. And just as Lee number 1 was, underneath the hood, you can see light bronze metallic overspray, because they never cut in any of the jams or anything. Now Lee number 2 was in a blue, but this has no hood opening, so this is my Hot Wheels version with the hood shut. As you can see, I used DT99 Race's way of fixing the Hot Wheels issue with the back wheel wells. I added lots of super glue and baking soda and sanding and a little bit of spot putty, but we took out that stupid lip that they had around those wheels, and then we made them both the same size. So that's what we did with that one. Now this one here's another Hot Wheels, but the hood opens, and that one was some type of green. Now the hood doesn't open that well because of so much clear coat in between the jambs, but it was a green metallic. So this one represents lead number 3, and I think this lead number 3 was the one that had the 440 in it. And unfortunately, the only one to survive was lead number 1. And this is the lead number 1 that I changed from, changed the whole, this was the Racing Champions, and this is the one that I did all the work inside. We changed the back window. This is the one that had the roof in 3 pieces. As you can see, you can't see where any of this was all cut out. Nowhere. It's absolutely perfect. And like I say, lead number 2 and lead number 3 had modified rear fender wells. Now, extra credit Lee, as I like to call it, is one of your original 1981 Ertls that rhymes with turtles. And I got the windows the best they could. They're not the greatest. It's got some crap down there along the bottom on that one. This one was a little bit warped, so I just brought it down some. But it looks better than any one I had played with it, a kid with the stickers on it. You saw what it looked like when I started. And like I say, you got 4 different variants of 69 Dodge Charger that's been out through the years. And this one we detailed the front, put a correct front push bar on it, a correct set of vector wheels from Johnny Lightning, and we painted the interior tan, put a roll bar in there. And for this one, since you're going to have the motor, the hood opening, the 440 is painted orange. We put a roll bar in this one, painted interior tan, got a set of nice Johnny Lightning wheels, got tail light all blacked out, or the tail light panel black, got the tag on there, got the windows cleaned up. And for this one, another set of Johnny Lightning wheels. I think I cannibalized 3 Mitsubishi Mirages for those, which work perfectly. Handmade push bars on all 3 of these. That was quite fiddly to make, as they say over across the pond, and or fidgety. And we got the tag on the back of this one. And for this one, for lead number 1, since I had this one, I bought this thing back 20 years ago, back when they were new, when it had the Charger 500 back window and a stupid set of rims. And I thought, man, it would be great to put a set of Real Riders on one from back in the day. Well, this is that set of Real Riders, and I just painted them up black and then highlighted the spokes. And we put a roll bar in this one. I know it's supposed to have a full roll bar with tan padding that comes up, but this damn stuff was so fiddly trying to get the windows to stay in, the windows to fit. With that, I just went for the single loop. And we got a nice looking the Chrysler V8 that I pulled out of an M2 Super B. So painted the bottom black. Got the right stance for all of them, which was very important, especially on the Ertl original. So this has been a very, very special build that I hold close to my heart because the show meant so much to me growing up. So let's put these babies together without further ado and get them displayed for their reveal. Okay, here we are with the reveal of Georgia General Lee's. I've been really excited about this one, and I hope that you will enjoy it just as much as I did presenting it to you. Without further ado, here they are. All of them in all their glory. All 3 first General Lee's and an extra one to boot. You can see this is the Racing Champions one, which is representing the General Lee 001. As you can see, this old girl is the only one that has trim across the bottom that I put on there, because that, my friends, is the one that you see or saw every week jump over Roscoe's car in the opening credits. That is lead 001, and she still survives today in, I guess, the hands of Bubba Watson, a golfer who bought it. And this one's going right in my collection. That's the one that I cut all up and put the back window in, and I had the roof in about 3 or 4 pieces. So that one's special. Lead number 1's going in my collection. As for lead number 2, which was another stunt car, this is represented by the Hot Wheels 69 Charger with out the hood that opens. But as you can see, it's supposed to be, was originally a blue metallic, and it was I think that this was the one that jumps in the front beginning and says, "Welcome to Hazzard County," at in the very first episode of One Armed Bandits. I may be wrong, I may be right, I don't know. Maybe even John Schneider, our fellow YouTube friend, will come in here and check this out and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. This one here is lead number 3, which was your close-up car for doing burnouts. I think it had a 440 in it, I read. And it had green, if you can see in there, because the damn hood don't open up all the way. It was a green metallic, and it was an RT, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And as you can say, she turned out real swell. And there's our 3 Georgia General Lees in all their glory. And last but not least is the original ones that I used to play with as a child. And this is the ones that I really wanted to do something decent with because they were so poorly made. And this one was no different. It had, I mean, it's the basis. You can see the base is still kind of warped on it, and had to do some repairs to it. But all in all, it turned out great, especially with a set of these vector wheels, and all these decals. All of these decal kits are all available through my buddy Vince at secondchanceredlines.com or on eBay at SC Redlines. And I personally sat down with him and helped refine his General Lee decal kits. So he has the best General Lee decal kits on eBay as far as I'm concerned. Those are the most authentic. Most of the ones you see are going to have orange in between the General Lee and orange in between the 01, which if you don't match it perfectly, you're going to see that. His actually have a clear backing and white, because his printers print white. Most of other printers do not. And I helped him refine the 01. As you can see, this is one of his older 01s, and this is one of his newer 01s. But in the kit, you will get the little checkered flag in the back window. You will get all the other decals, and you will get a tag, CNH 320. So if you like that, go check him out and build yourself some General Lees. And also, I don't do this too much, but some of these projects are getting kind of expensive. Just throw a little bit of money back into my hobby. I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to keep Lee number 1, and I'm going to keep Lee number 2. But Lee number 3 and extra credit Lee, as soon as I figure out how, I'm going to auction them off on eBay and see how they do. If they do real good, I may make some more to auction off, because nobody makes General Lees anymore, and that's sad. And There's a lot of them on eBay that are less than, I would say, they're people just buying the Hot Wheels and throwing the decals. They're not taking the extra time to make them as correct as they can. But I would also like to thank DT99 Race. Go check his channel out. He's the one that gave me my inspiration. He's the one that I called up and said, hey, can I use your fender wheel modification on my General Lee's? And he said, well, absolutely. He's the one that gave me the inspiration for this build, and I just took it to the next level. So these two, as soon as I figure out how to do it, will be on eBay auctions, and I'm going to try to get a Hodges Hot Wheels and Diecast page, and I will be showing you what I might possibly be selling on their auctioning off. So, but these would be the first two, and if they do well, maybe we'll make more and sell them on there. Now, I have another project, since we're on the subject of General Lee's and nobody making them. I have this, my friends, is the actual 1/24 casting put out by Ertl for the movie Death Proof, which was an interesting movie in its own, but when it comes right down to it, this, minus the push bar, which I can make, is a perfect example of the original General Lee's that we got as a child from Ertl. And these are made by Ertl. Ertl Toming, they call them now. But I have a couple of these, and I've also worked up decal sets for these. Please let me know in the comments if I were to build a run of these, a limited run, if people would bid on them on eBay. Because, like I say, nobody's making these things. And I'm taking them to the next level to make them as correct as I possibly can. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments what you think, because I figured this might be a cool way for me to give back to my audience, or to the General Lee fans, since nobody makes them, and maybe somebody might want my artwork. So that's how I've justified. I don't want to monetize, and I refuse to, because then it would be just another damn job. I like to keep my creative mojo without, you know, tainting it, as so to speak. So this is artists sell their artwork, so I will sell my artwork from time to time. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. This is a little bit later than usual, but I wanted to get this out to you before the 3 Blind Mice come up in a couple weeks. So, because I'm going to be busy working on that. So, have a great weekend. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you love the General Lee as much as I do, and the Dukes of Hazzard. Maybe one day we'll be able to watch it on TV again, because it was our generation's Andy Griffith. Have a great weekend.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills. Someday the mountain might get them, but the law never will. Making their way that's just a little bit more than the law will allow. Just a good old boy, they wouldn't change if they could. Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.